Hello and welcome. It's Louise here from Busy Mum Homestead, and I thought I'd take you on another quick garden tour. It is actually supposed to get really windy this afternoon, and we've got huge downfalls predicted for our area of rain. So I thought I'd do a quick tour because I took you around 9 days ago now in our garden, and we have had some huge growth. We had some really warm days for us, up around 25, 27, and some of my plants just really took off. And then that was in the beginning of the week. And then unfortunately, we had a bit of rain over the weekend. Then Monday, Tuesday, we had really warm temperatures, so everything took off. Then Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, it kind of cooled off again and actually got really cold again. And I actually wore a jumper yesterday. It got down to sort of around 10 degrees of night again, and only up to 13 and 15 through the day. So my poor plants don't know what is going on. And but anyway, I thought I'd do a quick tour around before all this rain and that hits today, and just show you how much everything's grown. And here's my beautiful cat. And I just want to apologize again for not showing my face at the moment. My camera screen is broken, and so I can't do selfie type recordings. So unfortunately, I just have to talk. So these are my potatoes, and I don't know if you remember, but last week they were looking magnificent. Now they still do. They are growing so well, and the middle ones, which are the pink eyes, have flowered. And last year I heard that people said to pinch off the flowers, and I did that with the potato plants that I had, but I actually think that that stopped their growth, and that totally makes sense because plants, flowers, fruit will be pollinated and then they set their fruit. So I am leaving them to be the flowers this year, and I'm going to hope that after they're pollinated, they'll put that energy into their tubers, which makes much more sense to me. So that's what I'm going with this year. He just loves flopping all over my feet, don't you? Cutie boy. And this little tomato is actually doing so well. It is thriving in there, and let's just hope that it keeps going. Over here, after I recorded this, unfortunately something came along and decimated my broccoli. I really think it was either a possum or a wallaby, and yeah, I have had a little wallaby or a paddy melon get into my yard before. So one of those two ate my broccoli. Behind it, the pumpkin, the butternut pumpkin, is doing so well, and it's going really well. Really happy with that at the moment. And it has grown heaps. I think a whole 2 rungs from what I showed you 9 days ago. This is my Tommy Toe cherry tomato, and it is doing really well. It's setting a lot of flowers. So I'm very happy about that, and I cannot wait to eat all of these cherry tomatoes. But again, it's growing really big. It was nowhere near that cap 9 days ago. I think it was down to here-ish. So yeah, a lot of growth. Oh, and I'm just going to pass this plant again, and I forgot to say, these are the green little cherry plums, I think they are, on the tree. And sorry, the wind's blowing the branch. It's not me going up and down. I'll just stop that. And yeah, so they're green, and that's about the size that they get. So quite small. I just realized I said they were green. They don't stay green. They actually go yellow. So they're not green gauges, because they do actually go yellow. Okay, and over here I've got my Windsor bean, dwarf bean, green bean, and my butternut pumpkin, and my broccoli that hasn't been eaten, but it's not doing overly well either. I don't know if you remember this with the potatoes, but they are starting to come along nicely, which is good, because they're the 2-year ones that I thought were dead. So I'm happy to see them. Actually need to weed this space. Those ones are not doing anything. And these ones are still fairly green and coming along, although not thriving like the other lot. So maybe they just prefer the other position where I have the other ones. Not sure. It's interesting. This space does get quite warm, I think. And my Jonathan or Jonagold apple has no flowers, but it's still surviving. And this is my Golden Delicious, and I have 2 fruits on there, and they are going along nicely too. They've grown a lot in 9 days as well, although still very small. So over here in this jungle is my sauce tomato, and it's just called sauce tomato. It's looking a bit funny at the moment because this morning I came out and pushed this vine back in. It was hanging out the front, and this was kind of hanging over the front too. So I kind of pushed them back in the cage because I haven't actually staked these. These are just growing in this, yes, very flimsy cage, but hopefully it will stand up to them. So I've just pushed it all back, so hopefully it will definitely come back. But yes, some flowers on this one, so very happy about that. Over here we have the yellow squash. I'm just looking at the name tag. Now I've got Roma tomato in there, but the Roma that I put in actually did not survive, I don't think. Oh no, that's actually the Roma. Some of these are replaced, but that one's actually the Roma. So that's good, it's coming along. It's very tiny though. So hopefully the squash doesn't take over the tomato. I'm hoping that the squash falls out the side and the tomato grows up the middle so that I can make use of multiple plants in the pots. So these ones are zucchini. Sorry, just reading the tag and not going the best, but they have grown since last week. The ones at the back, which are squash, are doing absolutely amazing. They are starting to come along quite nicely, and I'm really happy about that because I thought that they were going to die, but they've come along quite nicely. There's also yellow squash in the front, and you can tell they're both exactly the same time planted, and for some reason the ones probably at the back are a bit more protected. I think with the cold weather that we got, it's really hampered some of these that are out from the eaves a little bit more, and exposed to the wind, because we've had quite a lot of wind as well, which hasn't been nice. And I came out and planted that tomato. I can't remember whether that's a totem or a gardener's delight tomato. I think it's a totem. I'll see when it grows, but I'm pretty sure, I knew I should have labelled it. But I'm pretty sure that's a totem. Now this capsicum, I'm not sure if you remember, but it has grown, I would say easy, 15 centimeters, easy, since I last was out here. And there are so many flowers coming on that, so I'm actually really, really excited because I haven't ever had the best luck with capsicums for some reason, so I'm really happy with that. Or peppers if you're in the northern hemisphere. And these are my 2 tomatoes from the older gentleman. They haven't done a lot, to be honest, in the last week. There is a little bit more leaf growth there, but as in putting in flowers and that, they haven't really done as much yet. Maybe they're adjusting to my lack of nutrients. So the old guy was filling the pots with dynamic lifters, so you know, he probably really fertilized them, whereas I don't tend to. On the weekend, which is a full week ago now, I did sea salt all of these, which also I think helped them grow. Now this one's the heirloom. That's the yellow one that I showed you over the other side, but it's another plant of it. And look at these flowers. Hang on, just see if I can get in there. Have you ever seen flowers like this on a tomato? They're really unusual. It's really big. It's probably 5 centimeters across. And yeah, really quite big. I'm not sure how the bees are going to pollinate this one. I hope they do. I come out and give everything a shake, But with this one, I'm not sure if that's what's needed. Well, I guess we'll soon find out. Down here is my zucchini, which are actually doing really well. They've taken off these ones. And there's a couple of pea plants in with that. Another zucchini, which, yeah, they're looking quite well. My yellow capsicum is actually not looking very well. I think it might have got a bit of wind or frost damage or something, cold damage. I mean, it's right under the eave, close to the house, but there is this big gap. So I think maybe that the wind came through and isn't affecting it. So I might actually move this one. The other one is doing so well because I'll show you. Excuse my mess, behind the water heater. So I think it's being protected from the wind, and that's why this one's doing better. And I think that one doesn't look so good because I think the cold wind that we've had has affected it. Which, yeah, I'm going to have to move it. So while I'm talking about moving it, I might actually pick it up now, and I'm just going to move it under these eaves next to this one, but hopefully it's a bit more protected with the pot next to it, although it's not really taller than the plant. I'll have to have a think about where to put that one. Yeah, because I really want that one to survive. That's the yellow long capsicums. All right, so in here I have my zucchini. Now I think I'm going to guess Gardener's Delight, which is the cherry tomatoes that I came out and put in each of these pots with the zucchinis. I'm not 100% certain. That could be a Roma. That looks like Roma. We'll see. Maybe they are the Romas in these ones. That's right. Sorry, my memory is terrible. Those are the two Romas because they survived for some reason, and then I think I repotted some tomatoes into these ones. So that's why I'm getting confused. These are golden nugget pumpkins, and they're actually looking like they're starting to get some flowers on them, which is actually very exciting. And they're not overly big. They're pretty small plants. These Romas in this pot up the back and in the front are actually not doing anything else. They have stagnated there, so that's quite upsetting. I'm not really sure why. This was old soil though, and I think I said in my last video, but last year I had tried doing a heap of seedlings and they all died once I transplanted them out of the seed raising mix because I had purchased the cheapest soil. And I said then that I thought that it killed my plants, and that is why I'm not doing that this year, and I'm spending the extra money and getting the more expensive seed mix or soil mix, because to me I want plants that are going to thrive and survive, not fail and die. So I think that's what's going on with those two personally. Got the zucchini in here. It hasn't done a ton more, but it's still alive, which is good. I need to weed this again. That's my blueberry plant. This is my tall raspberry. I'm pretty sure it's a raspberry growing in there with the mint. I did cut back a little bit the mint and dried some, so hopefully it gives it a good chance to grow even higher. This pea plant, snow pea, looks so sad, but do you know that I actually picked 5 snow peas off this yesterday? So it's not doing too badly, even though it looks terrible. It keeps flowering and it keeps giving me a small handful of peas, so I can't argue with that. I'm very happy with that. So during the week I actually came out and pulled some onions. They're very small, but they had all fallen over. I forgot to show you in the other. There were 2 in the other big pots that I've got, and there were some in here. And so what I did was I planted a radish seedling that needs to be potted out. And this one I definitely know is a cherry tomato because I thought it would be lovely for it to grow in there and spill over. And because they're cherry tomatoes, hopefully it won't matter that it's such a small pot. I've got another radish, and I planted another cherry tomato there at the back, which hopefully will grow up to the light here. So I know it's going to be small and the roots will probably take over everything in there, but I don't actually mind. I've got that many seedlings that hopefully I can get some more planted out in full pots anyway. But I just wanted to get them out. Now, I was wondering to myself the other day, I completely forgot, and I thought these were Windsor beans, which are the dwarf variety, and I noticed that they seem to be sending out some shoots, and I thought, that's really unusual. That doesn't happen with Windsor. And then literally this morning or yesterday evening, I realised that the reason why I put these in a cage and the reason why they looked funny is because they're not Windsor dwarf beans. They are the Belotti beans. So that is why I put a cage in there, so they can grow up around it. So yeah, I just feel a bit silly about that. But anyway, they are growing nicely in there and look good. Now, over here, I'm going to have to move things because the pumpkin is growing so large. It's covering my broccoli, but broccoli has just taken off in here, and the little seedlings of carrots are getting shaded out as well, so I might have to move this little one. But this pumpkin, this is the North Georgia candy roaster squash, and it is doing amazing. I am so happy with that. I actually ordered some more seeds of that, even though I haven't got the fruit yet. Because the leaves, like, look at that. It's massive. Like, this is my hand. I've got a big hand. I actually take large or extra large gloves at work, so I have a big hand. And they are just going off in there. They are doing so well. So I'm very happy about that. And I can't wait to see them grow, and I know for certain that this little flimsy cage is probably not going to hold them, but I hope it does. Otherwise I'll have to come up with some sort of solution. And here I've also got some capsicum and all of the flowers on this one. There is 2 little white flowers in there and all the buds, and that's the little heirloom miniature ones, and it hasn't grown as much as the other one, but it still has grown, and it's got that many flowers on it. At the front, I'm so happy. I thought these were dead. But these are the cucumbers, and I think they were burpless cucumbers. Yes, burpless ones, and they're actually doing all right. So after all that heat and rain, they have really come along, so I'm very happy about that. Hopefully they can withstand this weekend and keep going. So that's what worries me with this weather, having warm weather and then dropping straight back down to really cold again. I worry that it's going to not just stunt the plants, but just make it so they don't thrive as well in the coming months, because they kind of get set back. I know I lost myself last video over this rose, but I wanted to show you. It is still blooming, but it hasn't come out yet. But after I fertilized it with sea salt, which is a seaweed solution, I've got another little bud, so it's very exciting. Over here is my sweet potato, and I'm very happy with that. I came out on, I think, Tuesday night, and don't know if you can see, but it's kind of, I have done this and put it around the pot, but that end was hanging out over. And so my idea is that I can wind it around this huge pot and just have the sweet potato berry into there. And if I get this big pot's worth of sweet potatoes only, then I'm very happy about that. I don't want it trailing over the edge because there's weed matting and just rocks, so there's no soil for it to go into, and I don't want to destroy all of the bedding type stuff. So my idea is just to have it grow in that pot, and I'll trim anything off that I need to. These are the sugar pumpkins, and they have grown so much as well. Like, if you saw my last video, I should try and put a comparison up, but I don't know that I'm that good at editing yet. But they have grown so much. There is a bean still in there. Yeah, so I'm very happy. They're sugar ones, and I think I'll just let them go over and trail onto the rocks. This is golden nugget pumpkins, and it's also grown really well, and the peas look very happy growing along the pumpkin vine there. And I have lots of little flowers coming along, which is very exciting. So I pulled a couple of onions out of this one that had fallen over. And then this one is also the North Georgia Candy Roasters. Sorry about the background noise with the road. And it's doing really well there. Not as well as the other one. And I think that's because this one's a bit more exposed. It's right at the edge of the road. The wind gets it. The sun gets it more. Yeah, so it's a bit more exposed. But peas are growing up nicely, and pumpkin is doing really well. So that's it for today. I just did a quick tour. I might take you inside. I've got to go do some baking today, so I might do another video with all of that and just leave this one as a garden tour for now. My aim is to not do 50-minute videos all the time, but I seem to not be able to help myself. So I am going to stop this here at 20 minutes. And I thank you for being here. Thank you for watching. I would really appreciate it if you could give me a comment and a like if you like this. I'm just starting off this channel again. I had a channel some years ago, and I did different things for that channel. And I hit 123 subscribers, and then it was so hard to get to 123, and then I never did anything, meaning that it just didn't go anywhere. So if you can give this a subscribe or a like or a comment if you enjoyed this, and want to see more of what I do, it's not just the garden, I'll be doing other stuff inside. I'd really appreciate that. But I thank you for being here and watching today. I really do appreciate that as well. So thank you, and I hope you have a lovely weekend, as lazy and as restful as what my cat gets to have. Stay safe, everyone. Bye.